Welcome to Real Numismatic, where every coin has a story and every unusual detail deserves a closer look. Today, we're examining a coin that immediately raises a fascinating question. How can a coin dated 2014 show a Native American portrait on one side and a buffalo on the other, while also carrying the denomination 1 cent? At first glance, it looks like a historic American design brought back to life. But the closer we look, the more unusual this piece becomes, and the answer is important for anyone who collects modern US coins. The coin shown here is dated 2014. On the obverse, we can clearly see the word Liberty, the date 2014, and a Native American style portrait wearing a feathered headdress. On the reverse is a large buffalo or bison, along with the inscriptions United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent. And this is where the mystery begins. The design shown in these photographs does not match the official 2014 United States 1 cent coin. A genuine 2014 Lincoln cent was produced with the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse carried the Union Shield design, with 1 cent across the shield and United States of America around the top. The Smithsonian's National Museum of American History records 2014 Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco cents with exactly these Lincoln and Shield designs. What are we looking at? Based on the photographs alone, this appears to be a privately made novelty piece, fantasy coin, replica, or possibly an altered or non-standard token rather than a normal US Mint 2014 cent. I want to emphasize that distinction because the photographs do not provide enough evidence to determine exactly who manufactured this particular piece. There is, however, something fascinating about the design itself. The Native American portrait immediately brings to mind the famous Indian head cent, officially produced by the United States Mint from 1859 through 1909. That historic cent was designed by James Barton Longacre and featured Liberty wearing a feathered headdress. Despite the popular name, Indian head cent, the figure was intended to represent Liberty rather than a specific Native American individual. The buffalo on the reverse brings another famous American coin to mind, the buffalo nickel. The buffalo nickel was introduced in 1913 and was designed by sculptor James L. Fraser. Its obverse featured a Native American portrait, while the reverse displayed an American bison. Fraser's design became one of the most recognizable images in American numismatics. So this 2014 piece appears to combine two extremely recognizable themes from American coin history: the Indian head cent's Native American style portrait and the buffalo nickel's bison imagery. That combination is precisely why this piece can be confusing to someone discovering it in a collection. The date 2014 makes it look modern, but the artwork makes it look more than a century old. And there is another important clue. The reverse says 1 cent. That denomination does belong to America's cent tradition. But the official 2014 cent did not use a buffalo design. The 2014 Lincoln cent used a copper-plated zinc composition, measured approximately 19.05 millimeters in diameter, weighed about 2.5 grams, and had a plain edge. The Philadelphia Mint struck about 3.99 billion business strike cents that year, while Denver struck more than 4.15 billion. San Francisco produced the collector-proof version. That means simply seeing the date 2014 and the words United States of America is not enough to establish that a piece was actually struck by the United States Mint. This is one of the most important lessons in coin collecting. Inscriptions do not prove authenticity. A collector should always examine the complete design, dimensions, weight, edge, metal composition, die characteristics, and provenance. The photographs also allow us to make a few observations about this particular piece. The surface appears bright and copper-colored, but photographs alone cannot reliably determine whether the material is copper plating, brass, bronze, or another alloy. I also cannot responsibly assign a numerical grade from these images. There are visible surface marks and areas of uneven appearance, but lighting, magnification, and photography can dramatically change how a coin's surfaces appear. There is also no clearly visible conventional US Mint mark that would establish this as a novel 2014 Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco cent, and that matters because the genuine 2014 cents have very specific identifying characteristics. For example, a 2014 Philadelphia cent has no mint mark, while a Denver business strike carries a D. A San Francisco proof carries an SN. The official 2014 design is the Lincoln Shield cent, not the Native American and Buffalo combination shown here. So, could this be a valuable error? Based on the photographs, there is no evidence that we should call it a genuine US Mint error. That distinction is critical. A true mint error occurs during the manufacturing process of an authentic coin. A privately manufactured fantasy piece is something completely different. Even if a piece looks unusual or spectacular, unusual does not automatically mean valuable. Before assigning any value to this particular example, I would want to see its exact weight on a precision scale, its diameter with calipers, its edge in sharp photographs, and ideally its metal composition. Most importantly, I would want to establish its origin. If it turns out to be a privately produced token or fantasy piece, there is no standard US Mint catalog value for it. Its market value would depend almost entirely on its manufacturer, rarity, demand, condition, and collector interest. And that is why I would not put a dramatic dollar figure on this coin from photographs alone for collectors. The safest approach is simple. Never clean it, never polish it, and never alter the surfaces while trying to discover what it is. Keep it protected and document both sides, the edge, weight, and measurements. The most interesting thing about this piece may not be its monetary value at all. It is the way it brings together two iconic chapters of American coin. Design the Indian head cent and the buffalo nickel while using a modern 2014 date and the denomination. 1 cent.it looks like history, but it doesn't match the official history of the 2014 US cent, and sometimes that contradiction is exactly what makes a coin worth investigating. If you have a strange coin in your collection, don't assume it is fake, and don't assume it is rare. Look closely, compare it with official references, and investigate before making a decision. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like this video, share it with another collector, and subscribe to Real Numismatic for more fascinating coins, unusual varieties, historical discoveries, and honest numismatic research. Because in coin collecting, the smallest detail can completely change the story.